combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live. And we're here with another episode of Jimmy Rants. Jimmy Rants is a pretty cool show. You should check it out. We start off at the website, JimmyRants.com. So go follow me there. And once you're there, you see this show as pretty darn cool because we start off on Instagram Live. We do a couple of those a day right here on Instagram. So if you're not here, as in right here on Instagram right now, go follow me at Instagram at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMEN. You can engage live in the content just like all these beautiful people are doing right now. If you missed the live, it's all good. It's up for 24 hours on Instagram for you to watch it on replay, but then Instagram takes it away, but then we pick it up from there, pop it over onto YouTube for you. So type in a keyword, Jimmy Rants, either in a Google search or on a YouTube search, and you will find the show. And then finally, if you like to listen to content while you're driving around in your car, traveling, whatever, we also have a Jimmy Rants podcast. Go subscribe, you guys, over on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review while you're there as well. All of this is at JimmyRants.com. Today's Jimmy Rants is all about a topic that I've heard again and again from people that are not necessarily fans of keto. And one of the things that they say is that it's an extreme diet, that you drastically cut out a whole food group, that you really can't stick with it over the long term. So the question becomes, is keto sustainable? That's the question that they ask. And for them, they've already made up their minds. It's not sustainable. How do you live without healthy whole grains? How do you live without fill in the blank, what they consider health food? So what I want to talk about here today is, and make the argument, that keto is the most sustainable diet you'll ever do. And think that through a little bit. How many times have you gone on a low-fat diet? All of us have done millions of times cumulatively between us. So every time you've gone on a low-fat diet, why did you get off? Why did you stop? The reason you stopped was you were hungry, you were irritable, you got tired of tasting bland food, you weren't getting quite all the benefits you were looking for. You might have lost weight, you might have done some other good things in your health, but did you feel well? And that is a huge litmus test when it comes to sustainability here, you guys, because it's devalued hunger control, energy levels, brain function and health. All of these things, to me, are what makes any diet that's going to be successful sustainable. And so sustainability is this word that's thrown out there very often when it is related to the ketogenic diet, but I never ever hear anybody talk about the sustainability or the lack thereof of the low-fat diet. Who can live on that diet, much less months, but years? Who? I don't know anybody that successfully lives that way, unless your body, I guess, is wired to be able to thrive in that way. For me, one of the best parts of going low-carb, high-fat, ketogenic has been that it's something I could stick with. Before I started on the Atkins diet in 2004, every single time I went on a diet, it was a diet. In other words, a start date and end date. There was no, let's shift my habits over. There was no, this is the way I'm going to eat the rest of my life. No, you know the feeling. You go on a low-fat diet and you're counting the days and you're pining for when you can get off of this cockamamie way of eating so you can actually eat really good food again. Is that sustainable? Not a chance. So what does keto do and why is it different? Keto gives you very delicious foods. I mean, I don't know anybody that doesn't like bacon unless you're a veganist of the vegan. Everybody likes bacon. Everybody likes full fat foods. Why do you like those? Because they're full of fat. That's where the flavor is. Everybody's like, well, sugar is flavor. Sugar is just like icing on, literally the icing on top of the cake of flavor. It's fat. Your body is craving fat. So when you feed it delicious tasting fat, and then at the same time, that fat within the context of carbohydrate restriction is giving you health benefits in the form of lowered inflammation, in the form of lower insulin, lower blood sugar, all positive things happening in your health. And you're getting those health benefits eating something that's pleasurable. Guys, that is the recipe for sustainability in my mind. And the fact that you can even switch it up. I mean, I'm doing just a carnivore keto right now, where it's just meat-based products and animal-based products. And people are like, whoa, that's not sustainable. Can I tell you a secret? This is probably the most sustainable thing I've ever done. Even more than Atkins. Even more than a traditional keto diet. It's easy. It's simple. You just do it. And you don't even think about it. That's another thing about this sustainability question. Is it something that you can do just intuitively without really having to think about it? And the freedom that comes from that makes it sustainable as well. So this argument of sustainability has always been a funny one for me. And of course, it's always people that don't know what they're talking about when it comes to keto. They're just spouting off, well, you can't eliminate entire food groups. You can't live without carbs. You can't, blah, blah, blah. And they've just never tried it. And so if you're one of those people and you happen to be watching this video right now, I challenge you. Go keto. Get fully keto adapted. Don't say you did it for 3 days and you're keto. No, you weren't. Get fully keto adapted in that 2 to 4 week period. Try it for 60 to 90 days. And then you tell me if that's not a way that you could eat for the rest of your life. Now, I know what will be said. Well, you need lots and lots of whole grains for fiber. And if you don't eat your fruits and vegetables, you won't get all your micronutrients. I'm so sick of those kinds of comments. Because they pretend like you can't get micronutrition in keto-friendly foods. Lots of non-starchy green leafy vegetables have incredible nutrition in them. And if you're not averse to eating some of the odd bits of animal foods, things like liver, beef heart, brain, that kind of thing, there's lots of micronutrition in there. But you never hear them talk about that, because as soon as they mention that, they know their gig is up. Because that's the only last vestige that people are hanging on to why they're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and whole grains is, well, I have to get my nutrition in somehow. My vitamins and minerals, they're only found in those foods. If they start telling people that you can get it from the offal and all these various bits of the animal that nobody ever eats besides the muscle meat, their gig is up. So from a sustainability standpoint, I argue that keto is the most sustainable of any diet you'll ever do in your entire life. Because you can stick with it. Because it's very pleasurable to eat. But because you get all of these benefits in your health as you're still working on weight loss. You're getting incredible changes metabolically deep within your body to heal your body. And it's those things that are happening that give you that sustainability. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. Hello, hello. Low fat equals hangry, says Downtown Vapors. Yeah, I think most of us could verifiably say that's how it made us feel. I don't think everybody gets hangry eating low fat. There's some people, they seem to enjoy it, and I think their bodies are made for that. But for those of us who have at least some semblance of some insulin resistance, which is upwards of 80% of the population, low fat's going to make you hungry and angry in the process. Jesse says, for me, eating crap would no longer be sustainable because I would feel awful. Yeah. And for the longest time, we ate that way because we thought it made us feel good. But when you actually start eating a nourishing diet like keto, especially when you use mostly real whole foods, you find out what sustainable, feeling good feels like. And there's no other feeling in the world. Nicholas J. Thompson, I've been watching your videos, just got Instagram just so I could catch you live. Well, welcome. Thanks for being here, man. Keto has been by far the most sustainable diet I've ever been on. Yeah. And see, you can't explain that to people because they hear all that negativity about it not being sustainable and cutting out whole food groups and all these other negative images that people have. But if you really stop and try it, do it for yourself for a period of time, get keto adapted, that 2 to 4 week period to get keto adapted, and then do it for 60 to 90 days. I would dare say most people that did that wouldn't stop doing that. Why would you stop doing that? Like for me now, I'm doing kind of a more refined version of keto where I'm only doing animal-based foods, a carnivore keto experiment. I'm in day number 10 of doing this. And I set out to do it for 28 days just to see what it would be like, testing various blood markers and just kind of tracking everything. But guys, if the next 18 days goes as well as the first 10 days have gone, I'm not going to stop doing this. It's sustainable for me. And you've got to find that and what will work for you. Bacon and avocados for everyone. Keto Strong says AZGO. Yep. If you want to feel terrible, I will eat those healthy whole grains, says Sherry. Yeah, there's no way. Live and listen healthy. Preach it always. That's my jam. What's up, Keto Chow? Thanks for being here. I always think when hearing the balanced diet theory, how people before agriculture survived or found a balanced diet in their environment, says Alberto. Yeah, it is funny how we're so haughty and spoiled in modern day society that we think we have to have all these food groups. And you think back to hunter-gatherer ancestors when sometimes all they had was a big animal kill. They would feast on that big animal kill. The ketoist of the carnivorist diet. And then there would be periods of time where they didn't have anything except the little bit of vegetation they would gather. So they'd eat that. And they'd be fasting quite a bit as well. And nobody that's anti-keto is even talking about the other F word, because fasting is such a critical element in health as well, which they know is true. So they don't bash it, and yet they'll bash keto. It's pretty amazing. Hello, Ketogenic Beastet. Thanks for being here. I watched Food Inc. this past weekend. Healthy grains? Pfft, no thanks, says 3 cheers for keto. Yeah, I liked Food Inc. Didn't get everything right, but it was a really good documentary. I believe it's still on Netflix if you want to watch it. Joette says, my husband has lived on the low-fat diet for about 2 decades, mainly beans and rice, worried about his cholesterol. During this time, he got his cholesterol way down and still had 2 strokes. Just goes to show that the markers that they use to track health, like LDL cholesterol, total cholesterol, they're not the be-all, end-all, and they definitely don't prevent cardiovascular events. Sorry to hear that about him, by the way. Downtown Vapor's been back in the late 90s. I thought Atkins induction was crazy. You know what? So did I. I remember when I went on a no-fat diet in 1999. It was right after my brother Kevin had 3 heart attacks in 1 week that nearly killed him, eventually did kill him, but I remember I started losing weight on a no-fat diet, and people would come up to me and said, oh, you must be doing that Atkins diet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I would never, famous last words, do that diet. And then 5 years later, I start the Atkins diet. So I simply didn't understand. I wish I had. Yeah, me too. I would have saved myself a lot of heartache and pain, and I'd be that much further along in my knowledge and experience doing low-carb keto today had I done that. But I'm also a big believer in your experiences in life guide you for what you do. And I don't know if I would quite be the exuberant champion for low-carb keto today had I not gone through that failed low-fat in 1999 experiment. And then the way I felt right after doing that until I found low-carb in 2003, thanks to a diet book from my mother-in-law. Once you can realize everything you have to give up is bad, sickening food-like things, it becomes very sustainable and natural. Yeah. Kitty Caddick, a lot of people say, how do you live without donuts? I'm like, I just don't eat donuts. What do you mean, how do I live without them? They're not food to me anymore. So a lot of stuff happens up here, you guys, that makes this sustainable. People think, I can't live without bread, sweets, pasta. But when you start eating keto, those things quickly kind of diminish into the background. And before long, you go, why did I ever think I needed those things? Why did I tell myself there's no way I could live without? I thought that way about macaroni and cheese. I told this story the other day on a Jimmy Rants. Macaroni and cheese back in the day was my jam. That's what I would eat, and eat it till it came out of my ears. Today, I have no desire to put anything like that into my mouth. Why? Because I don't see it as food. Because I don't see it as something that's going to be health promoting for me. And truth be told, I don't even see it as pleasurable anymore. Now, keep in mind, this used to be one of the most pleasurable things I put in my mouth. That's a huge shift, you guys. And it's another indication of the sustainability that keto has given me. Nancy, Virginia Beach, I believe it is sustainable for those seeking it as a way of eating. Those just looking for a quick weight loss will probably go back to their old ways. Nancy, thanks for bringing that up. A lot of the negative comments that are made about keto from people that don't understand it is it's all about the weight loss. Oh yeah, you might be able to lose a few pounds if you do blah, 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 but it's not sustainable because nobody can live that way for the rest of blah, blah, blah. When you take the focus off the weight loss and only on the health gains that happen, that to me is the magic of keto. That to me is why it's sustainable. It's why you hear me devalue the weight loss benefits of keto. Will you lose weight if you go keto? 90% of the people that go keto lose some modicum of weight if that's their goal. But it's not the thing that's happening. The thing that's happening is metabolic healing, insulin sensitivity being restored, lowering of the inflammation, lowering of the blood sugar and insulin levels. All of those things are the things that, to me, make this a whole lot more sustainable with or without the weight loss benefit. Those are the things that are the good things that are happening, making this something you'll do for the rest of your life. Crystal says, we never go hungry on keto. Every other diet left us hungry and miserable. Exactly. And hunger is not a desirable state. It's a very uncomfortable state for so many people. And so when you can find a way to eat that will give you health benefits and weight loss benefits that doesn't induce hunger and cravings, then you found, what's that? You found the nirvana in your pursuit of health, because that's what everybody's looking for. And if it's something that makes you feel good and actually get good health markers, that to me is the sign of ultimate sustainability. And I got 72 blood sugars right now. Booyah. Pretty darn good. All right. Joette says it was possibly going to need a pacemaker. Oh, for your husband, right. I put him on keto 1 month ago to help him gain weight because his doctor said he's dangerously underweight. Still talking about my husband. Yeah. Welcome in, welcome in. I've been keto for 2 years, says Deborah Jane Rainey. She says this is so sustainable because you're no longer craving and not hungry. Exactly. This is going to be a theme song. If you're brand new to keto and you're watching this video just kind of casually, this is why you go keto. No hunger, no cravings, delicious food, and you get great benefits in your health. Now, if that's not 4 things that should convince you to at least give this a try, then there's something wrong with you. I would ask, why is it not sustainable, says Keto by George. Every meal that I eat is satisfying. I think sometimes they feel like they have to throw out that you can't do this over the long term. You're cutting out whole food groups. There's essential vitamins in whole grains that you're missing out on, and fruits and vegetables that you're missing out on if you're not eating those. I think it's just a huge convolution of what keto is. And when people actually find out what keto really is, they go, why was there such scaremongering? So I think it's one of those things that once they try it, George, and they see how satisfying it is, like it is for you and for so many of us on here today, that's when they have the buy-in. And that's when another one bites the dust to the conventional wisdom when it comes to diet. These rants this week have been on fire. Thank you, Alberto. Check your cortisol levels. Like the rants, they pump me up. Pump up the volume, pump up the volume. My husband is freaking out about having to eat so much fat in keto now, but he is thriving in just 1 month of this way of eating. Joette, it is a process of getting people to embrace when you cut carbs out of your diet. What is your fuel source? It is not protein. It is fat. So if you frame it in that way, it makes it a lot easier to know why you're eating fat. Jimmy Rants rules. Thank you, MC Roush 1477. Appreciate that. How do we lower cortisol? So if you have general questions for me outside of this Jimmy Rant show, because we stay on topic of the pinned comment, which is keto is the most sustainable diet you'll ever do, then you can write to me through Instagram, which is where you're watching this, or wherever you're watching this. You can write to me an email, livinglowcarbman@charter.net. I'd be happy to help, but we stay on topic on these Jimmy Rants. A lifestyle where I can eat barbecue every day for the rest of my life and be healthy. You bet I'm in that for life, says Joshua Winslow. Yeah, you just made people that are anti-keto cry a little. And I love it because, yeah, you could do that. And if it makes you feel good and you get good health markers from that and you lose weight and you have all of the inkling within you to keep doing that for the rest of your life, that's the definition of sustainability. Almost 2 years into keto and still rolling, says Bullock in 2018. Yep. Any other diet I've ever done has lasted maybe a week. I've been keto for about 1.5 years now. It's the best. So sustainable, says Amy 1026. Thank you, Amy. I agree. I did carnivore for a week, had great results, says Ketoholic. Yeah. Best lifestyle ever, says Sharon Lee. Absolutely. What do you have? Cream, jalapeno, or avocado, or just meat? Thanks. Oh, what do I have on my carnivore? It's just animal-based foods. So I do have heavy cream because that's animal-based, and cheese because that's animal-based, but not jalapeno, not avocado. Those are plant-based. So I don't think people on the SAD diet can fast. They're always hangry. Crystal, there's no way somebody eating a low-fat diet, the traditional healthy diet, low-fat, high-carb, high-healthy whole grain diet, could fast. There's no way somebody coming like Jimmy Moore circa 2003 eating whole boxes of Little Debbie snack cake and fast food and 16 cans of Coca-Cola a day. If you'd have told me to try fasting, I'd have been like, all right, give me an hour. I'd only make it an hour before I'd have to put something in the pie hole again. So yeah, there's no way. And this is another thing about the sustainability. If you can go long periods of time between eating, that is a clear telltale sign that you have found a sustainable diet. The reason people get hungry so quickly, and if you're one of those people, you're kind of teetering on the fence of whether keto is good or not, listen carefully to this. If you're able to eat a meal and then go 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, even 24 hours between meals, your body is happy. Your body is thriving because not having that hormonal response to eat and eat and eat some more, try doing that on a low-fat diet. Eat a low-fat meal and try going 10 hours without eating after eating a low-fat meal. I dare say most people couldn't do it. It's why they tell you eat every couple of hours. And so you're eating every couple of hours to make your blood sugar normal, they say. No, you're eating every couple of hours because your body still doesn't have all the basics that it needs to be nourished. And so if you're not being well nourished, you're not going to be in a sustainable diet. That's why keto is sustainable. Keto with periods of intermittent fasting is completely normal. It happens spontaneously, and it is indeed the most sustainable diet you'll ever do. Keto is not a diet. There's no deprivation at all. Love it, says R.L. Blackbean. Yeah, it's why we call it the keto lifestyle. It's why we say engage in keto living, because it is living. If you stop and think about it, low-fat diets are dying. They are. But a low-carb ketogenic diet is living. Okay? So you choose living or dying. Your choice. I've done all the diets in 30 plus years of dieting, says Keto My Success. This is the only thing that has healed me and provided me satiety to be able to sustain, finally feel like it's a lifestyle. You've reached the nirvana, Keto My Success. Congratulations, because far too many people, they try this for a period of time, and very short period of time, I might add, and they don't get the results that they want. And they think, okay, well, there's another failed diet. Let me try something else. And then you bring up keto to them. Oh, yeah, I tried that for 3 days and it didn't work. You didn't try it. So try it for that 60 to 90 days. Like I mentioned, get fully keto adapted in that first 2 to 4 weeks. Try it for 60 to 90 days, and you will see this is the most sustainable diet you'll ever do. And then you look at what they eat, and I'm like, that's not even nutritious at all. Cream of wheat and toast. Ugh, ketoholic. I wouldn't. Ugh. I hadn't thought about cream of wheat or toast in a long time. I hear there's an avocado crop crisis in Mexico that's going to devastate Super Bowl Sunday. Oh, Jesse, so no guacamole for you on Super Bowl Sunday. If you watch a small child eat, we are made to eat exactly the same way. Pizza, they eat everything off the crust. A sandwich, they eat the insides. They play in the pasta, rice, and potatoes, says Crystal. And even, little babies for sure, but also look at like how animals eat. I've got 26 backyard chickens, and sometimes I'll throw them some of the stuff that people mail to me that I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole just to see if they would eat it. I'll throw it into the backyard, and they'll go up to it, sniff it, and go, nope. They'll walk away from it. But then I throw something out there that's real food, vegetables, even meats and things. They love chicken, by the way. My chickens love chicken. It tastes like chicken to them. So they get that, and they like fight over it because they know what the good stuff really is. I love keto. I always stayed away from butter, mayo, sour cream, all the fatty foods for weight and health. Now living my best life with them all back in my diet again, says Keto 995. Yeah. You have to educate yourself, watch videos to understand why you're eating meat and fat. Exactly, Ketoholic. Mrs. Regina Meyer says, it has been sustainable for me since April last year. I don't feel like I'll have any trouble staying on keto. I could never find sustainability with low-calorie diets, low-fat diets, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Slim Fast. You ever stop to wonder why those companies stay in business? Because if their way was the way and was sustainable and gave people the great health that they pretend like it does, how would they still make money? How would they still be in business? Because if people found the way using their plan, they wouldn't need them anymore. They wouldn't have to buy all their foods and other ancillary products anymore. They would have found their sustainable diet. The reason they're still around is they know it doesn't work. They know people will do it for a period of time, cycle off. They'll get a fresh new crop of people to cycle on, and they'll fall off. And it's just this relentless cycle that has happened year after year after year after cha-ching for them. Whereas you go keto, there's no keto company that's like promoting a keto diet, because you go keto and, oh yeah, by the way, you stay keto. You don't fall off. You keep doing it and you figure things out. Yeah, you refine things here and there, but for the most part, you get the diet, boom, you're on it, and you stay on it for the rest of your life. All my food is fresh now, says Ketoholic. No boxes or packaged foods. That definitely helps when you turn to real whole foods mostly as your way to feed yourself. 2 years into keto, says Bailey Tomlinson 11, and I'm healthy as can be. Perfect blood work, so much strength in the gym. And people don't believe you until you can convince them to give it a go. They give it a go, they find results, and they're like, why didn't I do this earlier? Right. And like I said yesterday in my rant, we got to be patient with those people when they're first starting off because they don't fully understand the wisdom that comes from having done this for a little while. L. Andrew, I'm glad you're enjoying Carnivore. Do you think there would be benefit for someone to go BTW Keto and Carnivore during a typical week? Certainly couldn't hurt. One of the things I found with this, and again, the reason Keto Carnivore seems to be working more sustainably for me now than the other is it's keeping me away from things that aren't animal-based. So whereas I might have picked up some nut butter, I'm not having that. Whereas I might have had some nuts, again, very healthy for you within a ketogenic plan, but I'm not picking those things up. So I'm wondering how much of the benefit isn't so much the carnivore and the sustainability of this, but more so that I'm not having those things that maybe I was having in the diet that I could either take or leave. It's very interesting. I'm going to be sharing more about that in my work, so stay tuned. Bshop 3W, it's not a diet for my husband. It's our lifestyle. 9 weeks. We'll continue our lives are so much better now. That's awesome. I tried so many other diets that I couldn't sustain, says Regina. I gained weight on all of them. I did not lose no matter what I did. My body hates every other diet. I got to 425 pounds with PCOS. And PCOS is a very clear indicator of insulin resistance. And the only thing that really, really helps with that condition is a low-carb, moderate protein, high-fat, ketogenic diet. Fed my 29-year-old son keto yesterday, says Downtown Vapors. He was shocked that he stayed satiated for so long. I told him, that's keto, baby. Yeah, it's not normal for people to only eat once or twice a day. They still can't wrap their heads around it. We still have this cultural norm of breakfast, lunch, dinner with snacks in between and maybe midnight snack. That's changing, I believe, though. Ashton says keto is so yummy and satisfying that I can't imagine how anyone could say it's not sustainable. Well, I don't think anybody's denying that it tastes good. I think what they're denying is that you can't keep eating that way because they think there's some nutrient deficiencies that are going to happen if you keep eating that way because they see only essential nutrients coming from whole grains, beans, rice, fruits and vegetables, that kind of thing. And they also pretend like we don't eat vegetables on a ketogenic diet. Although I'm doing carnivore right now, a keto carnivore, you can actually do very well on non-starchy green leafy vegetables on your ketogenic diet. And some people with less tolerance to or more tolerance to be able to have more carbohydrates, even those people can have a little bit of fruit in there as well. So for them to say you can't have, it's just, again, convoluting the issue, trying to scare people away. I woke up 2 hours ago. My body is not even close to being ready for a meal yet. Yeah, same here. I've been up, 5 hours now. And yeah, I have no desire to eat yet. Don't need to. I feel good and not even a little bit hungry, says Jesse. My last meal was 5 p.m. last night. That's 14 and a half hours of fasting. That's a telltale sign your body's doing good things, Jesse, so keep it up. Joette says, my husband has been hangry for 20 years. He's seen that he doesn't have to be for the last month on keto. Hashtag game changer. Taste and see that keto tastes better, is better for your health than probably anything you've ever done, which is what makes it sustainable over the long term. So many people tell me I forgot to eat, says Keto Cooking with Robin. Yeah. When I first started keto, Christine will tell you, I forgot. And it was 24 hours between my meals. And I forgot to eat. I wasn't even thinking about fasting. I just did it. It just happened. It was spontaneous. Never thought that would happen. Exactly. Crystal says, when we did SAD, we planned our life around food. Now it's, well, we don't think about food. Yeah. I literally don't have any inkling to think about food when I'm not eating. I think about food in kind of the 5 minutes before I prepare food and while I'm preparing food and then when I'm eating the food. But once that kind of 30, 45 minutes, whatever is done, then I'm back to my regular life and activities and not obsessing. Don't you hate those people that you're eating breakfast with them? Let's say you go out to eat. You're eating breakfast with them. I wonder what we're going to have for lunch. Yeah, and then lunch, they have lunch. Oh, I wonder what I'm going to make for dinner. Oh, and then even in betweens. Well, I think I need to go snack. And so is that a way? That's not normal. That is whacked. Whacked. That's all I can say. Regina says, blood glucose so steady, I have 0 dips in energy all day long. I do 1 meal a day. I can intermittent fast for 20 plus hours every day. I don't even think about it and have no thoughts towards eating. I also forget to eat sometimes. It's so cool. That's a sign of huge improvements in your metabolic health. Debbie says, inflammation gone, sinuses better, plus 2 stone of weight loss, which is right at about 15-ish pounds, you guys. Eating yummy goodness, keto is the lifestyle for health. It is. Joette says, I donated our toaster to Goodwill the other day since my husband went keto. Yeah, you don't need a toaster anymore. Although I found, I got an air fryer a couple of months ago. That is a cool invention for a low-carb dieter. Now they promote it on the front as, make your meals less fatty by not deep frying in bad oils. And I'm more like, no, I want the crispiness on my food that an air fryer gives. And then I'll add more fat to it at the end. Just kidding. Alberto, some carb burners seem fit, but because we don't consider they store their energy reserve on their snack backpack. Yeah, exactly. It's the same if we can store our fat in our backpack. Yeah, on the body is what you're saying. Dana Beaver says, do you think that it's easier to fast longer if you have extra weight? I've loyally been on keto for 10 months. I still get really hungry and want a meal after about 4 hours. I'm 117 pounds. So Dana, I don't think you have to fast. But if you're hungry 4 hours after eating, I would look at exactly what you're eating. If I can help you with that, definitely email me your menus and the times you eat and that kind of thing. To liveinlowcarbman@charter.net. I'd be happy to take a look at it. Most of the time when people say they're hungry that quickly after having a meal, it's usually not enough fat in the diet, not enough total calories in the diet, or too many carbohydrates. Those are the 3 culprits. And I would dare say it's probably a combination of not enough fat and by extension of that, not enough calories. But again, without seeing your menus, it'd be impossible for me to help you here. This is absolutely the longest I have maintained any weight loss in my life, says Keto Chrissy Sue. 2 years keto, and I'm keeping all my weight off. That's great. Regina says, I used to be able to eat an entire thin crust medium pizza from Domino's, still be thinking about eating more. So crazy. Yeah, when I was a kid, my dad would take us out to a pizza joint. So my older brother, Kevin, my younger brother, Nathan, and I with my dad, we'd go out to a pizza joint and we would all order large pizzas. And we would see who could eat the most. My brother Kevin, by the way, beat us all. I think he got to a large and a half pizza. I got through my large, but I was like, I can't eat another one. My brother Nathan would get about 3/4 of it, and my dad would eat a whole large. But yeah, Kevin left us in the dust. People chase after weight loss companies because they work for a little while. When they gain it back, they think it worked for me before, so let me try it again, and it just keeps the cycle going. Jesse, you're right. I've been keto for 6 months. I still feel hungry often from eating a meal. I starve a lot when I fast. So just like that person earlier, email me your menu with the times that you eat. And I love that you're getting blood ketones of 1.4, but I want to see the whole picture, and I'd be happy to help anybody out. If you're watching this, either write to me through wherever you're watching this on Instagram, YouTube, or you can write me an email, livinglowcarbman@charter.net. If I'm not dieting, I'm gaining, so I lose every January, then gain back the rest of the year. With keto, there's no regaining, so much easier and better and healthier. Keto has been a godsend, says Chrissy Sue. Thank you. I used to eat ice cream 2 to 3 nights a week. Now being keto, I have not had any ice cream for the past year. I'm now getting way more nutrition from the real food that I'm eating and still satisfied, says Magic Keto 219. You found the nirvana of sustainability on keto. You don't need the ice cream, even though in that moment, every fiber of your being says, I want that. But now you realize you don't really want that. Your body was giving you false signals. Now you've calmed all those hormonal responses that make you think that you want those things and that you could never live without them. I had a personal trainer yell at me. She used to help people like me lose weight, says Regina. I said I was keto. She said she tried it for one day and couldn't do it. She recommended I eat lots of carbs, even though I had lost 100 plus pounds. Yeah, when I initially lost my weight in 2004, I started going to the gym. I wanted to start building some muscle, and I go see a trainer, and the first thing he says is get off that low carb diet and start eating lots of carbs because you're going to need that if you're going to work out. And I'm sitting there going, how about taking a baseball bat right to my face? Because that's what it felt like. And I'm like, can you not honor where someone is in their journey and think outside the box of what maybe you believe for once? So if you go see a personal trainer and he says, get off that keto, tell him where he can go, right? I like eggs and cream cheese, keeps me good and satisfied for hours. Yeah. That's one of my favorites too, yellow-eyed. I had it just yesterday, actually. People think it's not normal you're going to die because you're fasting, says Keto Tiny and Vintage. You just have to lead by quiet example because nobody wants to debate this every day. Same with keto. I don't feel like I have to necessarily debate keto. All I do is live it and show that I'm someone who does keto, who does fasting, and I'm still here. People have tried to write me off for years of, oh, that diet's going to kill you. When? When am I supposed to die because of this diet? When am I supposed to fall off the wagon of keto because it's not sustainable? This is the most sustainable way I have ever found to eat, to live, to be healthy, and to enjoy life. That's a devalued thing as well, that last part. There's a lot of people that eat a low-fat diet and they are not enjoying life. They are miserable. Their brain is screaming at them to feed it fat. And everybody around them knows they're on a low-fat diet. Does everybody around you know you do a keto diet because of how happy you are, how calm you are, all of the great benefits that come mentally from eating this way? That can't be devalued, you guys, and I won't let it be devalued. Why can a vegetarian give up meat and people treat them like it's normal? But I say I'm giving up carbs and I'm the weird one. Yeah. Gayla Parrott. Yes. Vegans and vegetarians, they cut out whole food groups as well. No animal-based foods. That's a whole food group. And yet nobody bats an eye at any of that. That's the funny thing. People aren't all over vegetarians and vegans about there. Yeah, exactly. The personal trainer who recommended I eat carbs, even though I lost 100 plus pounds, was 30 pounds overweight, said she knows how to lose weight, has just been too lazy. Gina, don't hire that personal trainer. I never said I can't have, but I'm accountable for my choices. Yeah, I say I choose not to have. Because I can have anything I want, but I choose not to have certain things because I care about my health. I know now how food controls how I feel, and I choose to feel good, says Crystal. Yep. Mrs. KT Hughes says, I'm a runner. Once I'm on ketosis, will that help my runs? If I don't have enough carbs, running is awful. email me the questions. We don't do general questions here, but that is a great one. And I've got lots of links to podcasts where I've talked to runners and other marathon people and people that do this with a ketogenic diet. So email me, livinglowcarbman@charter.net. Be happy to help. All right, you guys, let's see if there's any other comments here. Mover asked to take the waffle iron. Practically new, but we were throwing it out, says Regina. I said, sure, but I felt bad giving it to someone, knowing the evil carbs can do, sharing keto info with them too. I would keep your waffle iron because you could make all kind of little egg-type waffle-shaped things. You could, use almond flour and make things that way. I wouldn't have got rid of that waffle iron, but I get it. If it reminds you too much of your crappy garbage days, then you did a good thing. I was hungry for the first few months on keto. Been keto over a year now. I learned I wasn't yet fat adapted. Increasing my fat, tracking my food, and it was amazing the difference. Not hungry now, and I feel great. Keto, my success. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Yep. All right, guys, that's it. Lots of engagement today. Thank you so much for that, by the way. I really love it when you guys get into the topic that I talk about here on Jimmy Rants. And the bottom line in this Jimmy Rants is when people tell you that eating a low-carb ketogenic diet is not sustainable, I want you to retort back, you know what? My experience has shown me that keto is the most sustainable diet that I've ever been on, and I'll keep doing it for the rest of my long and healthy, and might I add, tasty way of life. All right, guys, that's it for this Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. And if you're brand new to the show and you want to kind of see how it works, hop on over to JimmyRants.com and you'll see that we begin this show on Instagram. We do a couple of lives every single day. So follow me there at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. And you can catch me live just like all these people did here today. If you missed the live, you can watch the replay. I have hundreds upon hundreds of people that watch the replay on Instagram, so go follow it there. If you're not on Instagram or if you missed the replay for some reason, that's okay. We put all the past episodes over on YouTube for you, so go type in a keyword Jimmy Rants on a YouTube video, or even in Google now, you can find these past episodes, 140-something and counting. So thank you guys for watching it there if you're watching this on YouTube. And then finally, we have a Jimmy Rants podcast. If you like to listen to content, maybe you're traveling in your car, go look up the Jimmy Rants podcast, subscribe, leave us a review, you guys. And again, that's at Apple Podcasts. All of this is housed, you guys, at JimmyRants.com. So until next time, we'll see you then.